I'm chilling, man. How you doing?
Man, pleasure to be here. I appreciate it.
And you're an author, and your name is Erick Kelly?
Absolutely.
All right, cool, man. Well, welcome to the show. What is the dark side of South Beach?
Man, the dark side of South Beach is everything. The dark side of South Beach is everything that people miss on. You know, they so used to the beach, South Beach, getting on Collins Ave, getting on that water.
Turn up, pop in.
There we go. And I'm trying to bring them on the other side of that bridge.
Okay, that's what's up. So, but you're still talking about South Beach. So when you say the dark side of South Beach, what a person reads that, the dark side of South Beach, what reaction do you want to get out of them?
Man, I want them to know that there's definitely another side of life. That's reality that people are actually been living, you know, trying to pick up the pieces to get their life together.
Gotcha.
You know.
So did you have some experiences on South Beach or dealing with South Beach that you're expressing in the book?
I mean, yeah, I know. You know, vaguely I touch on the beach a little bit, but I'm really my emphasis is on the other side of the bridge, and I briefly speak a little sprinkle of the South Beach itself on there.
Got you.
In the book, right.
Oh, so it's really about the other side of the bridge.
Absolutely.
Got you. But how they emphasize how, like, LeBron James is going to South Beach and make it seem like that's what Miami is South Beach.
Absolutely.
You're saying the dark side of that South Beach, which y'all think is using South Beach as a more of a metaphor of Miami.
There we go.
Got you. All right. Because I'm from here, so I'm trying to figure out, like, okay, well, you know, did you go on Alton Road and have a problem? Like, you know what I'm saying? All right, but now it makes a lot of sense because people think Miami in a whole is South Beach. You're saying, okay, the dark side of that South Beach that y'all like to glorify.
There we go.
Beautiful. All right, makes total sense. All right, cool. We have another author here. King, you good?
Bless up.
All right, where you from?
Oh man, Pompano, Fort Lauderdale.
Give me a little history. What's your heritage, man?
Oh, Haitian all day.
All right, that's what it is right there. And you got a book called 7 Types of Queens, Kings, Desire, Courage to Believe.
Those are 2 books.
2 different books, all right. So the 7 Types of Kings and Queens is 1 book, and Desire, Courage to Believe, like I'm confused.
Yes, it's 7 Types of Queens, King's Desire. That's
King's Desire is 1 book, and then Courage to Believe is another book.
Right. That's the one that started everything.
Got you. Okay, so let's talk about the Courage to Believe, because you seem to have everything. That's the first one, right?
Correct.
All right, so what's the Courage to Believe about?
Oh man, Courage to Believe is an inspirational autobiography about how God helped me overcome adversity in life. So I use it as a platform when I go to different schools, churches, colleges, to uplift the crowd. You know?
So like a public speaker kind of thing.
Yeah, but it's true
motivational.
Stuff. Definitely. I've been through a lot of things. I overcame a lot of things, and it's only right that I share my story to help other people that's coming up behind me know how to address certain situations and be victorious.
All right, cool. That's what's up. So both of you are on like that same kind of line, like you're taking experiences that you had and things that you had, and you put it into the form of a book so that people could learn from like your mistakes and your experiences.
Absolutely.
All right, cool. That's what's up. So speaking about that, when you say the dark side of South Beach or the dark side of Miami, so to speak, on a whole, what have you experienced in that dark side?
Man, that dark side there, man. I jumped off the porch early on. I've been in and out of problems since I was 15 years old, you know, and I've been out of prison now a year now.
Okay.
A year and about a couple of days.
So how long you did?
I did 10 years in federal prison.
Boy, they love to give everybody that dime, man. It seems like that's the magic number for brothers out here, man, that dime.
I mean, actually, I did have 15 years. I got out on a case called the Johnson issue.
Okay.
You know, and I was released 2.5 years early.
Got you.
Based on the Johnson issue. So
what is the Johnson issue? You can't say something on my show and not explain it.
Johnson issue, I was in prison for armed trafficking, possession of firearms and weapons. And the Johnson issue, it came about because they was using your prior felonies to enhance your sentence, whether misdemeanors or whatever, to add on to your sentence.
To say like he's not worthy of being out here and he did this before and then whatever.
There you go.
When you're supposed to be judged on that specific crime.
There you go.
Got you. Wow. So it
could
have been a whole different story if you were just judged for your specific crime versus all of that.
Absolutely.
Wow, man. And they got away with that for all that time?
For all that time. I mean, they was getting away with it, I believe, since like the late 80s. And, you know, and so it was a blessing, though. It was like a, a year gap when it came out. I think they shut the door on it. But if you was able to file on it, you was able to reap the benefits on it. And I'm just thanking the Lord, I was one to reap benefits off it. And I got a couple other partners that reap benefits off it, so that was a blessing in itself.
All right, we're gonna do a live break right now. So basically, you're just gonna say your name and that you got this book out. It's gonna be real brief. It's just introduction. So we're going on a live, going on air right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Ready.
So just say, hey, it's my name. I got this book, that book. Hey, it's my name. I got that book, that book. Courtney.
Yes.
You see what happens when you twine it up? Please, it'll destroy it.
Got you.
Look at that. It's got a big titty now. I don't even know what to do.
Let me see.
It's okay. I'll fix it. Alright, today's Monday, Urbanpreneur Mondays. Very special guest in the studio. Please introduce yourself, bruh.
My name is Erick Kelly. I'm the author of the book, The Dark Side of South Beach.
Alright, we're going to get into that. And another special guest, please introduce yourself.
Yeah, this is King Kevin Bless Up. I'm the author of, two-time author, The Courage to Believe in 7 Types of Queens, Kings Desire.
Alright, we got 2 authors in the building. Join us right now on Facebook Live. Search 1035 The Beat on Facebook, man. They're going to tell us their story and give you some entrepreneurial spirit. If you ever thought about being an author, you can find out how they started it off, how they got through, how they got published, and more. You dig? It's The Beat. Alright, sweet. So, you were talking about, your come up and stuff like that. Let's go a little back further. Where you from originally?
I'm from Miami, in a section called Little Haiti.
Okay, I've heard of that. All right, so tell me what it was coming up in Little Haiti as a child and some of the things that you experienced.
I mean,
that play a role also in your book.
It played a major role. I come from a big family.
Uh-huh.
We had our trials. We had our temptations. We try to overcome everything, adversity all at the same time.
Right.
But we resort to things that wasn't natural. So that in turn had us leading astray. When things wasn't working right, we resorted to somewhere else to get money. Right.
Right.
To sum it up in a whole nutshell.
No, listen.
And Little Haiti is Little Haiti.
Right.
Whether I don't care what it is. Brown Subs, Lincoln Field, Carrier City, North Miami Beach. It's Miami.
Right.
It's life in itself. And that's North Miami. That's dark side of South Beach. I'm trying to get everybody on this side.
Right now, we ain't going there yet. I still want more history on you.
Okay.
So we still talking about you right now.
Okay.
So you grew up in Little Haiti. You had your trials and tribulations. What schools did you go to?
I went to numerous schools. I went to Morningside. I went to Horace Mann. I went to Miami Shores. I went to Cold Lakes Elementary.
How were you in school? Did you give trouble? Were you kind of focused, quiet? What was your temperament in school?
I was quiet. I enjoyed sports. I'm a sport fanatic. I love sports. Did you play
any sports while you were in school?
Yeah, I played football.
Oh, that's what's up.
Pop Warner.
Okay, what position?
Safety.
All right, that was my position too. That's what's up. All right, cool. So, now you go through the school system. Did you graduate?
Nah, I dropped out of school at 9th grade.
This is a great story, man.
Absolutely.
This is a great story. This is what I want to hear.
Absolutely.
I'm going to open this up, my brother. That's why you're here. I'm telling you, just work with me. It's going to make all the sense in the world to
Absolutely.
you. So you dropped out at 9th grade. Why? What were you thinking at that moment?
At that moment, I wasn't thinking about education. I was I've seen my mama, she trying to work 2 jobs at the same time. And, me being a young man at that time, I was like, man, my mama need help.
Right.
Not just my mama. My aunt need help. My grandma need help.
So what were you seeing was a good outlet for you to try to help them out?
Hustle.
Okay, so that's what you saw.
That's what I saw.
You look out your window, you get up every day, the people who were driving the nice cars and able to take care of their families, they were hustlers.
There we go.
Okay, got you. So you was like, all right, I'm going to look into this hustling thing and give it a try.
And give it a try.
That's what's up. But you were smart. So it's not like you weren't smart, because even to hustle, you have to have a level of,
Yes, you
understanding, education, and, you have to at least be street smart.
Absolutely.
In order to survive the streets, especially as to be here today to talk about it.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So what was that like maneuvering in that game?
I mean, your eyes got to be open at all times. That's first and foremost. But at the end of the day, I mean, it's more to it. It's more to it. Because you're gonna have your ups and downs. And at the same time, you got to figure stuff out. You got to read and react quick.
Mm-hmm.
You got that's number one. Trying to read and react quick. Who you be around. Just the environment itself.
Did you have a lot of close calls dealing with that with the game?
I mean, I've been in and out of juvenile system, since I was 15 years old. So
right.
I'm
talking about your life.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, absolutely.
Been shot at.
Yes.
Got you. Threatened, all of that?
Not threatened, but, the shootings, but the shootings was every day. I mean,
right.
shootings happening in every city in the United States.
I know, but we talking about you and Lil
Me
Haiti
personally,
at that time.
absolutely.
Right.
That was considered normal,
Got you.
You might hear that and, it don't bother. You keep doing what you're doing.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? So it was normal. It became normal to us. Numb to the situation.
So going through that now and looking back, doing the time, going through the system, everything, would you have done anything different?
Absolutely. I mean, that's number one. That's the whole basis of my conversation, everything I'm encouraging. Whatever I'm doing, I'm trying to save people from a lot of heartaches and headaches.
Okay.
Because everybody ain't going to get this opportunity, to still be alive, number one.
So now we get to the point where you went through these different things and you went through the system, and now you're at a place now where you can look back and say, man, I wish I would have done it differently. And now you're doing some different things in terms of, like, you have this book now.
Absolutely.
What was the motivation to say, all right, I am going to do a book?
Man.
That's a different lane from a hustler, like.
Absolutely, man. To tell you the
What
truth,
encouraged you? Like, what was that moment, like, that hit you and got you into books or even reading or what have you?
I mean, I wasn't no avid reader, but to be honest, it's a gift from God. Point blank, period. It's really a gift from God, But somebody in turn, they approached me, and I was younger, probably 17 or 18 one time. They were like, you need to write a book. I'm
really? Just like that?
Just like that, Being that the environment I grew up with, and, partners of mine, whether some ended up dead, some of them ended up going to prison before I did.
Right.
So, they like, you need to write a book. I'm looking like, man, write a book. I don't know the formats. I don't know the steps. I barely graduated, but I can read and write, and being in prison, you got numerous of writers in there. And I, in turn, bumped into one. We had a little short conversation, and a partner of mine, when I was on the phone, I was in prison. And I called him, he like, man, you need to write a book. That was the third person that mentioned that to me.
Right.
And, I've always been up at night. The Lord told me, man, just start writing. I got a pen and paper, started writing. And that's been it ever since then. I did my research, reading, reading, like business literature, entrepreneurial magazines, and different stuff of that nature there. And I always paid attention to detail. So I pick up a novel here and there, breeze through it, just watching how they line the book up and stuff like that, did my own research, and I had a cousin of mine. I'd always call him all the time. That's Kippy. And I made him do the research for me. Like book writing 101 or stuff like that.
Right. Something to get you rolling.
To get me rolling, and I just paid attention to detail and started writing. And when I got out, I just started putting the feet work, the motion. Getting in touch with different editors, just getting networking.
Right.
And that in turn, that's.
So at what point, when you started writing that you were in prison? Because it sounds like you started writing when you were in prison.
Absolutely. I started writing professionally in prison since 2010.
All right, so, wow. So about 7 years now.
Yeah, 7 years now. I started writing 2010.
So is this book, The Dark Side of South Beach, just one of the books that you wrote while you were in prison, or was the complete, like the whole time you were there, you just slowly wrote this
Just
book?
one of the books I wrote. I got
Gotcha.
other books that I haven't given titles to the name yet, but that was just one that I actually completed.
Did you think that, when I come out, this is what I'm going to do?
Of course. The Lord gave me the vision. You know, he said, man, just keep writing. You know, I believe him. I believe his word, so I knew it was going to come to pass. Confirmation.
That's what's up. All right, stick a pin because I want to talk about your process now of actually making your thoughts and everything you wrote on paper into like a actual reality, like that process now where you actually made it happen. We're going to talk about that in a minute. I'm just turn things over to King. King, what's good, man?
Blow, blow, blow.
You vibing over there. All right, ICN. Courage to Believe. Since you have 2 books, I want to still give love to your other book, Courage to Believe. What's that about?
Man, that book there is like, it's unbelievable, you know, the things I was able to overcome and just witness as a young man, as a young child growing up to a man. You know, my family comes from Haiti. The first chapter of the book is called Royal Bloodline. So I was able to do research about my family in Haiti. And I already knew about my African history, you know, being that they graduate college eventually. You know, that's a whole other story by itself. That's one you might want to ask me about.
Right.
But the first chapter is about my ancestry from Haiti, coming from Dahomey, West Africa, and my relatives are warrior kings. That's what they believe, not believe, but that's where most Haitians come from. That part of Africa is a warrior kingdom. That's why I was able to defeat the French because that was already in our bloodline.
The first independent black nation.
The nation of the West Hemisphere, definitely. That was already in our DNA.
Right.
So they slipped, you know, they tried the right ones. You know?
Right.
So big ups to Toussaint Louverture and Jean-Jacques Dessalines, I was ancestors. But more about the book, I started writing the book, let's say back in 2003, while I was still in college, and when I got out of college, 2005, which was, you know, its own, like I said, its own story because I had to go through so much, you know, ducking the police. I got locked up at one point. I did 10 months for attempted robbery, which I should have never done, but, you know, due to like peer pressure, bad situation, needing money, you know, resulting to violence, and that's pretty much the situation of many black men, you know. But I got a brother right now serving a life sentence. I have about 10, 15 friends in prison serving 20, 30, 40, 50, crazy time.
I was just talking about a dime and you want...
Yeah, big times, yeah. And my brother, you know, shout out to Guy, they call him Pharaoh. He has 3 boys. And so what I wanted to do was, with my book, was to talk about his life and things that he was doing, things that I was doing, and how we need to go a different path because we're losing too many of our young kings and queens to the system. If it's not the system, it's the one of us killing each other. You know, I don't talk about the Black on Black Crime Solutions panel that I host every year in this book because the panel started years later, but when I do a follow-up, I will talk about that.
Got you. Wow, that's amazing. And what was it that kind of, what was that moment? Because everybody has that moment. Like he said 3 times, some brother spoke to you. What was that moment that you had, like, when you said, yes, I'm going to do this? I call it my waking up moment. For sure. So I tell people, like, yo, I woke up. For sure. Right, when did you wake up, and what was that moment like for you?
It was a time when I was in school. I had a warrant at the time. And, you know, due to affiliation, I have some real gangster friends, you know. You know, stuff that, you know, these rappers rap about. These guys was living that, you know.
Right.
So due to that affiliation, plus my own little dirt, I was in class one time and I got a phone call. Back in the day, we used to have beepers, right? So I still had a beeper on me. Many people didn't have a beeper. I still had a beeper, and this way before smartphones. But my sister, you know, gave me a code, and you know, the code meant that, you know, police was at the house.
Right.
So so I stepped out. I didn't call from my cell phone. I stepped out of class. I walked to the payphone at FAU. Shout out to FAU, and. I called the police. Oh, you out too? Straight up. So so I called her. She told me what happened, and so I asked her. So you know, how many police officers was there? She told me about 5 of them. What did they look like? Were they uniform? Were they like SWAT team? And you know, she told me like they were SWAT team. So I knew what time it was.
Right.
So then I called my probation officer because I just reported already. So I don't need to come in. So I'm like, why? You know, so I called, asked them. So I heard, you know, some police at the house, you know, what did they want? And it was like, well, we need you to come back in to do a drug test or whatever they said.
Yeah, which was a setup.
But I just came, so why would I need to come do a drug test? But I overheard the PO on the phone. I think she tried to cover the receiver and was like, "Does he have a warrant?" I heard her whisper that. So that's when I realized what time it was. And I went back to the class, and for like the past week or two, I was working on a paper. This was one of my political science classes. When I walked back in class, the teacher already collected all the paperwork, and I could not turn mine in, even though I already had mine finished.
Wow.
And that's when I realized how much of my time the system was wasting. Because, you know, I was doing, you know, decent in class, but I literally failed a letter grade. And at that moment, I just had a revelation of, you know, how many of us are victims to the system. And just, even though that was just something small, I just knew that I had to start really putting my life on paper. Because I knew many people could benefit from it down the line. Maybe it's 10 years from now, maybe 100 years from now. Like right now, I'm an avid reader. I love to read. Reading to me is like, it was my way out the ghetto. I didn't know I was going to be a writer, you know, because I talk about in my book how my mom bought me a typewriter when I was in the 4th grade, rest in peace. She gave me one of them old school typewriters with the ink, the black and red ink, the roll real dirty, you know what I'm talking about? So she planted that seed in me many years ago. But back to what I was saying, like Booker T. Washington, you know, even he died many years ago. I read about the greatest. So his legacy still lives on today. People like him, Harriet Tubman, you know what I'm saying? Who you got? Frederick Douglass. But, so I wanted to leave something for my family. You know, to say, wow, I had an uncle or my dad. I don't have any kids yet. You know, I do plan on, you know, having children one day. But when
I have to have sex first.
But yeah, I want to leave a legacy, so I did that, and you know, so I'm very happy.
That's what's up. Both of you have some amazing stories, and what's kind of like, I want to say impressive to me, the most is that the path that you chose to be able to express it. You know, I would say it's so much easier, maybe because that's what I know, to just go up and tell your story in front of an audience, but to actually pen, you know, actually take the time and write the stuff, and then actually go through the process of putting out a book, you know. Like, I want to talk about now the process of actually putting out the book, you know. Can you tell me, like, now, take me to that point? I don't know if you did that with some help while you were locked up, or you waited until you got out. What was the process now of taking all the paperwork that you had and actually, you know, could you pass me one of your books, by the way?
Asia said, "Congrats, Eric."
Appreciate it.
And Linda Vincent said, "Amazing. Shout out to both of you brothers."
Appreciate
it. Bless up.
I mean, my style, to be honest, I'm taking the boxing. I'm southpaw. I'm orthodox with it.
Okay.
Because I mean, I just started writing, so you know, I got a pen and paper, you know, in the cell one night and just put chapter 1, chapter 2, and chapter 3. And I just went to filling in blanks, like 2 to 3 lines.
Right.
Okay, I'm like, you know what? That's one scene, because it's playing out in my mind all the time. You know, I'm playing. Even now, you know, I constantly have scenes going through my mind. You know?
Right.
So that process right there, I'm just pinning it down. Then 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm writing from like 1 to 5, 1 to 4, filling it in. You know, just different scenes. You know, just different chapters, different scenes, adding on. You know, and replaying people that was part of my life, you know, so I'm just going through familiar people or people I just walked by and just filling in the blanks like that.
Okay.
And so, you know, I read a book called 8, Author, Publishers, and Entrepreneurs, also in prison, and it kind of broke down, I mean, like, being a self-published author, you know, cover designs, you know, and different stuff, you know, Word off Microsoft, you know, different stuff of that nature there, and I just kept applying information, you know, and logging it into a folder. I had like a little notepad. I bought the notepad out of commissary for like $1.60, and I considered that my laptop. So
when you put all this together, what was the process now for you to actually get the actual book printed?
I mean, I found a company called Create Space. Create Space is a good platform for self-published authors. You feel me? They let you publish your books on there, and it's open to Amazon. They connected with Kindle Amazon, and Barnes and Noble is attached to that tree right there.
Right.
So it's like a branch off. So you know, they give you the steps to upload it. You know, so I got in contact with Patricia Lerner-Sue. That's the cover design, and she uploaded my book for me.
Gotcha.
And I got in contact with a good friend of mine, Kevo, that knows Christine Kearney, who did the editing for me.
Got you. Okay.
You know, so it was just Lord ordering the steps. You know, just putting everybody in my place. You know, in right position.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Just placing people in the right position. Yeah,
too.
Determination and keep going. You know, I kept digging. You know what I'm saying?
What was the process like for you, King? Like from the moment of putting it on paper to now? Could you pass me your books as well?
Yeah.
To the point where you actually have it in this form.
Well, the first book was a challenge because it was a lot more. It was a lot more personal, and certain things I didn't want to put in there for legal reasons. I didn't want to have detectives looking at me after the fact or whatever.
Right.
Or personal family things. Matter of fact, one of my uncles cussed me out because I talk about it in the book. Well, he cussed me out through his daughter.
Right.
Because I talk about how he used to beat up my auntie.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? I watched a lot of that growing up, like men beating up women.
Mm-hmm.
So that made me also want to be a better man. You know what I'm saying? Not to put my hands on a woman.
For sure.
But that book, I started literally writing that out like you did with a notepad.
Sure.
As a matter of fact, I didn't even have a computer. I had to get a computer off a crackhead to buy it from me.
For sure.
So I bought, got a computer from him. I didn't have a desk, so I was typing on the floor, literally. And then I took what I wrote in the journal and I typed it over into the book. The second book, 7 Types of Queens, King Desire, which I'm gonna sell 40 million copies, by the way.
For sure.
That was a lot more easier, because I was a lot more experienced. You know what I'm saying? Second time around.
Right. It's always like that. Yeah.
Second time around. But the editing process was a lot harder with that one.
Got you.
Because it's more of a woman's book, so I had to be sensitive and
to certain things.
Yeah, what I'm saying? I tapped into my feminine energy.
We going on the air. I want to talk about just basically the rough backgrounds that you guys had and to be able to now be at this stage. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So is that okay?
For sure.
Yes, sir.
All right.
I got to sign one to you as well. You can't hear words?
Yeah, you can hear you.
Hey! Hey, it's Mommy stood up one for hip hop R&B in the Breakfast Club 103.5 The Beat. Mr. Mauricio Sal 5 o'clock rush hour mix getting it in on this Monday. I know you hate Mondays, but when we get good music like this, we can only love it all over again, you know what I mean? It's all about changing your perception on everything. You know what I mean?
For sure.
Mr. Mauricio shutting it down. Happy birthday to Alex. We celebrated his birthday yesterday at the Metro Zoo. Only Mr. Mauricio and Alex can get me out in 100-degree weather at the Metro Zoo. I'm going to tell you that. We're walking a mile to the pavilion. But that's love right there. Hey, today is Urbanpreneur Mondays, where we set the platform for entrepreneurs. These two young brothers here are authors, both of them. I got Erick Kelly in the building, King Kevin Dorival. Did I say it right?
Straight up.
All right. And you come from rough means.
For sure.
You did a dime.
For sure.
Erick, and you came out and you have a book.
For sure.
And I think that's so dope.
Absolutely, I got you. Appreciate you.
Yeah, so I mean, why a book? Why was the book the outlet for you?
I mean, because you got a lot of readers. I mean, and number one, you got avid readers out here, and number one, you got a lot of avid readers in prison.
Right.
And at that point in time in my life, I'm in prison around a bunch of readers.
Got you.
Even though I wouldn't one myself, but I would read, I had no problem with it. But I'm around a bunch of avid readers, and I got a story to tell. And
that was the way for you to channel it was through the book. So you could have been a rapper, you could have been a poet.
Absolutely.
But you're an author.
For sure, absolutely.
That's so dope. King.
Yes, sir.
You also had a crazy past, so you've seen a lot, you experienced a lot. And also for you to take all of that and put it on paper, what was that process like for you?
Man, it's so surreal. To be honest, it's like living a dream right now. I never thought of writing 2 books, let alone 1. And so the process, I mean, a lot of people ask me, so how did you do it? You just have to have that willingness, that will to continue, because it's not easy.
For sure.
Sometimes you don't want to write. You don't want to read this book over 10 times, you know what I'm saying? Because the editing, so it's very tedious.
Gotcha.
You just got to be able to stick to it. You know what I'm saying? Be determined.
This is why we do the show. This is why we do these segment Urbanpreneur Monday, so we can encourage my beautiful and young listeners to just follow their dreams like you did.
For sure.
And I'm happy that I have some grimy people who came from the bottom and had nothing and experienced all kind of stuff and could have been dead right now, both of you.
Yeah, real talk.
And y'all are now two authors on Papa Keith's show for Urbanpreneur Mondays. You know what I mean? Like, I salute y'all.
I salute you.
And listen, do yourself the biggest favor in the world right now. Join us on Facebook Live. Search 1035 The Beat. They're here to encourage you to follow your dreams. Brought to you by Hennessy VSOP. Never stop, never settle. Mr. Mauricio, we commercial free inside that 5 o'clock rush hour mix. This is real.
For sure.
This is real.
For sure.
I love it. No, for real. This is the purpose of the show.
For sure.
So when I get like the raw, I get excited.
Sure.
You know, it doesn't always happen that way. Sometimes you get whatever, you know.
Sure.
But when I get some raw, and sorry for digging so deep, but that's why I do it, because I want people who watch this now, years later, whatever, to really understand like where you came from, the adversity, because you know it's just like everything is too easy and pretty for everybody.
There we
right
go.
now. You know what I mean? So I need them to really understand like the effort, the grind, everything that it takes. I'm not like delivering this on a platter. I want to deliver this from a real understanding of that it takes the work and the effort that you guys put in.
And like King said, I mean, not to cut you off,
No,
it's tedious. I mean, the process itself. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, just like you said, man, it's a tedious process. But you know, headstrong determination, man, you're gonna pull it off.
So let's talk about now, and let's open it up a little bit, because now you both are coming from the same background in the sense of the struggle, certain things a little different. You have one book, you have two, you have another book that's probably going to be on the way. So let's open it up a little bit, open up the floor in the sense of like, now that you have the book, it's another game now. Now you got to market and sell this book, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I mean, and I know this is part of it here, because, you know, as much as this show is here to encourage people, it's also here to promote what y'all doing too.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So we are going to promote, you know, the books, and we are here to do that. So just take me across that process, what it's like. I mean, y'all could jump in and have the conversation.
I mean, word of mouth. You know what I'm saying? You yourself, I mean, me personally, I don't care where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? I got my flyers, you know what I'm saying? I might be in Walmart or getting a haircut. I'm asking somebody, you read books?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Your
You know, I have a shirt on majority of the time when I'm in out the car. So like some people might tell you no, but I'm like, you know what? Get it to a friend of yours. You know, tell them, you know, check this book out. And, you know, they'll look at it. Okay, I like the title. You know, check it out. You know, just word of mouth. You know, family members. You know, just letting them share it on our social media sites.
Right.
You know, which I'm getting used to. I just learned Twitter about 4-5 days ago. And,
well, you fresh out.
Yeah, Facebook.
We'll give you some time to get acclimated.
Yeah, you know, so all this stuff I just got on Facebook.
Hey, listen, I've been here, and I'm still trying to figure a lot of this stuff out. So, you know, that's good. And with that being said, how many books do you print initially to say, okay, I'm gonna start with this number? And then out of those books that you initially print, how many of them that you have to end up like kind of giving away?
I mean, you gotta give away a few to certain people. Like I want to give you one. You know what I'm saying? To help me promote, you know, the grind. You know, I've my first batch of the first book, Courage to Believe. I think I got printed like 50, 60 of them, because I did mine with a stage play. I written and produced a stage play that coincides with the title, so it's called Courage to Believe.
That was up.
Real nice play, you know what I'm saying? So when you're doing a book signing, you have to make it an event. Because no one just comes to go